In this video, we are going to learn regarding different types of dravyas such as Sandigdha, Anupalabdha, Kritrima and Pratinidhi Dravyas. To begin with, Sandigdha Dravyas or controversial drugs. Controversial refers to discussion, disagreement or argument. In Rasashastra, the branch of Ayurveda dealing with metals and minerals, several controversial substances or Sandigdha Dravyas exist due to uncertainty in identifying their exact mineral or metallic source. These controversies arise from ancient nomenclature being based on factors like color, luster, locality, or therapeutic properties rather than precise mineralogical criteria. As a result, drugs like Vaikranta, Chapala, Rasanjana are often debated in terms of their true identity. This lack of clarity poses challenges in standardizing Rasashastra formulations and ensuring their safety and efficacy. Establishing clear identification and pharmacopoeial standards is essential for reviving the clinical use of these potent yet controversial substances. Why the controversy? Why are they controversial? Because the names in ancient textbooks are based on the appearance, region, effects, or analogies and not on modern mineral classification. This leads to different interpretations in different textbooks like Rasaratna Samuchaya, Rasatarangini, or Bhavaprakasha Nigantu. For example, Vaikranta is called Rasa Vaikranta in one text, whereas Vikrita Vajra in another text. Some consider it as tourmaline, others call it as spinel. As per the new syllabus of NCISM, the Sandigdha or controversial dravyas include Vaikranta, Chapala, Rasanjana, Pushpanjana, Vahnijara, Girisindura and Kankustha. Let's begin with Vaikranta. So, historical mentions Vaikranta as first mentioned in Vaikranta Dhatu in the 4th century BC text Kautilya's Arthashastra, chapter 33. It gained further recognition in the classics of Rasashastra like Prasaradaya Tantra, where it was categorized under Maharasa and Uparatna Varga as well. Now coming to the scientific confusion regarding Vaikranta, there are different minerals which are identified as Vaikranta, which are firstly tourmaline. It is a complex borosilicate with hardness of 7 to 7.5 with different color variants. Next is fluorspar or fluoride, calcium fluoride with hardness 4 and different variants in color. Third, rock crystal or quartz, silicon dioxide, hardness 7, available in different colors. Fourth, black oxide of manganese, MnO2, hardness 6 to 6.5, available in black or dark green color. Ayurvedic interpretation. In Ayurveda, Vaikranta is often interpreted as black oxide of manganese or Krishna Pashana. According to Rasaradaya Tantra, the sattva of Vaikranta should resemble Loha. This leads to the interpretation that Rasa Vaikranta might be different from that of Uparatna Vaikranta. Coming to the classical description, Rasaradaya Tantra described Vaikranta as having qualities similar to cast iron, possibly indicating a manganese-based composition. Yadavji Trikamji even equates Vajra in a context with Tikshna Loha, suggesting that in its absence, Vaikranta could be a substitute. When we consider a pie chart, which can be used to visually represent the expert opinion, it can be considered that around 40% of the scholars take it as tourmaline, 25% believe it as rock crystal or quartz, 20% as fluorspar, and around 15% as black oxide of manganese. Pie chart is not based on empirical data but rather reflects a theoretical breakdown based on the literature trends and expert mentions. However, according to the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India, Part 1, Volume 8, Vaikranta is considered as tourmaline, that is sodium aluminium borosilicate. Now coming to the second controversial drug, Chapala. In the world of Rasashastra, few minerals are debated as Chapala, the seventh mineral drug of Maharasa group. It is famous for its melting point as quickly as Vanga, but its true identity remains a subject of controversy. Considering the classical and modern perspective, in classical textbooks of Rasashastra, Chapala is noted for its low melting point of 217 degrees centigrade, which is closer to that of Vanga or tin, that is 232 degrees centigrade. Some scholars identify it chemically as selenium, while others consider it with bismuth ore. This disagreement has kept Chapala largely out of modern Ayurvedic practice. So, when we compare Chapala with bismuth and selenium with different characteristic features, it is seen that Chapala is described having colors of Gaura, Shweta, Aruna, and Krishna. Bismuth ore is a silvery metal with shiny surface, yellowish or pink tinge. Selenium, as per Rasatarangini Tika, steel grey or dark red crystals. So, considering the variants in color adds to confusion in their identity. Coming to the appearance, Chapala is described to look like sphatika, having 6 edges and sudhi in appearance. Bismuth is described as trigonal crystal, selenium as hexagonal crystal. However, crystal structure differs with the description. Specific gravity, Chapala is considered Guru, bismuth with a specific gravity of 9, selenium 4, bismuth is much heavier. Melting point, Chapala is been described as having melting point similar to Vanga around 232 degrees centigrade, bismuth 271 degrees centigrade, selenium 217. Selenium matches closer to Chapala's melting point. According to Ayurvedic interpretations, as per Rasatarangini, selenium is considered Chapala. However, Acharya Yadavji and Dr. Vaman Ganesh Desai argue that Chapala to be identified as bismuth. Their reasoning, bismuth melts quickly like Vanga, has 6 edges and is often found with sulfur containing minerals like Swarnamakshika. So, coming to the competing views on Chapala's identity, 50% of scholarly opinion considering it as bismuth, 40% as selenium, where other interpretations are close to about 10%. Coming to the third drug, Rasanjana. In the ancient science of Rasashastra, Rasanjana stands as one of the most intriguing and controversial preparations, bridging the world of minerals, metals, and even herbs. In the commentary of Rasaratna Samuchaya, Acharya D.A. Kulkarni identifies Rasanjana as yellow oxide of mercury. He raises a very critical question. If Rasanjana is purely made from Daruharidra, that is Berberis aristata extract, wouldn't it be purely herbal? Then why it is listed in Uparasa group, which generally include mineral and metal? Hence, he concludes saying Rasanjana must contain mercury in some form. Now, considering the types of Rasanjana, one, it can be taken as the preparation used kashaya or decoction of Daruharidra Berberis aristata, considering it as a artificial Rasanjana. herbal in nature, but most classical texts may still be processed with metals. Second type, yellow Parada Bhasma. As per Dr. Vaman Ganesh Desai, it is a mercurial preparation, matches description to the yellow color and metallic content. Ayurveda and scholarly opinions. Acharya Sushruta include Rasanjana in the Anjanadi Gana for ophthalmic applications. Dalhana in his commentary clarifies that Daru Haridra based version is artificial. Dr. Vaman Ganesh Desai goes further, suggesting yellow colored bhasma of mercury could be possibly Rasanjana. So, scholarly views on Rasanjana's identity is 40% of the views go with yellow oxide of mercury, 35% as yellow Parada Bhasma, 25% as herbal Daru Haridra decoction based preparation. The next controversial drug is Pushpanjana. In the Uparasa group of Rasashastra, 7th position belongs to Anjana. Among the types, one stands out for sheer variety of interpretations. Pushpanjana, a mysterious white preparation with multiple possible origins. According to Rasaratna Samuchaya, Pushpanjana is Shweta or white in color. Professor D.A. Kulkarni notes several controversies. It is derived from a flower, from honey, or from minerals like alum, or from metals like zinc. Each theory has its own supporters in Ayurvedic literature. Now, considering possible sources of Pushpanjana, first one, flower derived. Description from flowers of specific plants used in Anjana Karma. The supporting reason possibly could be the name Pushpa implying the origin from flower. Second one, Kashmiri Madhu or honey. Honey from Kashmir is used in various ophthalmic treatments, supporting reason, traditional usage in ophthalmology. Third possible source is Pushpa Kasisa, one of the variety of Kasisa. Mineral used for eye disorders matches with the description of white color and properties mentioned in Rasashastra. The next possible source is Tuvari or purified alum. It is a white mineral used in eye disorders. Similar description with the white color and soothing effect. The next possible source is Riti Kitta, the brass alloy. Pittala is an alloy of copper and zinc. Zinc compounds are beneficial in eye treatments, and this description is linked to that of Ayurveda Prakasha. The last possible source of Pushpanjana could be zinc oxide produced by heating brass. Zinc reacts with oxygen to form white powder, Yashada Pushpa. This matches with the description of color, that is white, and medicinal properties. So many modern scholars lean towards identifying Pushpanjana as zinc oxide. This occurs naturally when Yashada in brass reacts with oxygen during heating, forming a puffy white substance called Yashada Pushpa. Its soothing and antimicrobial properties align well with the classical uses in eye care. Now, hypothetical scholarly opinions on Pushpanjana's identity is this way. Around 45% consider it as zinc oxide, Yashada Pushpa, 20% as Tuvari purified alum, 15% as Pushpaka sisam, 10% as that derived from a flower, 5% as Kashmiri honey, and another 5% as Riti Kitta or brass alloy. The next controversial drug is Vahnijara. In the world of Rasashastra, some substances are as mysterious as the ocean itself. One such rare and controversial material is Agnijara, a substance linked to fire, sea foam, mythical marine origins. As per the classical references, in Rasaratna Samuchaya, Vahnijara is described as Jarayu or membranous covering of Agni Nakra, a legendary sea creature. The text also notes its origin as Samudra. So, possible interpretations of Vahnijara are: firstly, Jarayu of Agni Nakra, which is described as a membranous part of a mythical sea creature. The reason for association is its literal interpretation from the classical textbooks. Another, it is an alkaline marine substance or kshara type of compound from marine origin. The reason is the medicinal alkaline effect as per categorization in Rasashastra. Ayurveda's perspective, Agnijara's classification as kshara suggests it may have been valued for its cleansing or scraping, that is lekhana and antimicrobial properties. However, the mythical descriptions and the rarity of its occurrence in nature have kept it mostly out of present day practice. The next controversial drug is Girisindura. Revered in ancient Rasashastra and debated by scholars, this striking substance blends the world of mercury, lead, and alchemical transformation. According to Rasaratna Samuchaya, Girisindura is a form of rasa, that is mercury or a mercurial compound naturally found between large fountains. It appears red, dry, and often contains tiny globules of free mercury. Some scholars link it to montrodite, a natural mercuric oxide mineral, bright red in color. But in Rasatarangini, it is described as a fine, heavy, smooth, clear red powder. So, the multiple identities and controversies with Girisindura. One is montrodite, that is mercuric oxide, described as natural mercuric oxide, bright red, containing free mercury particles. So, the reason is possibly the match with the physical description with the classical reference and the association with mercury. Second is a lead compound, artificial, prepared from the lead resembling Nagasindura, mentioned in the textbooks of Rasatarangini and Rasamrita, but an artificially prepared drug. Third is lead peroxide, Sindura in the market, often prepared by heating litharge or lead oxide. Heating changes lead oxide to red form, that is Nagasindura. So, based on the color reference, it is considered as scholarly opinions on Girisindura's identity. 50% of scholars consider as montrodite or natural mercuric oxide. 35% consider it as artificial lead-based Sindura, where around 15% of authors have other unidentified minerals to Girisindura. The next in the group of controversial drug is Kankustha, the eighth mineral drug of Uparasa group. As per Rasa Vagbhata, Kankustha refers to either a fecal matter of newborn elephant or umbilical cord of a newborn horse. Traditionally, it is considered Rechana, a powerful purgative, and is said to be beneficial for both Rasa and Rasayana Karma. Kankustha's real identity is puzzled among scholars for centuries. Some suggest it as Mridara Shrunga lead oxide, while others identify it as a plant resin or herbal drug from the Himalayas. So, different opinions of Kankustha is: Acharya Dalhana consider it as Swarnakshiri, that is Argimona mexicana. Rasanava consider it as a lustrous drug similar to Vidruma or coral. Rasa Vagbhata considers herbal drug from Himalayan peaks. Another opinion of Rasa Vagbhata in Rasaratna Samuchaya it as fecal matter of a newborn elephant or umbilical cord of a newborn horse. Acharya Baluki consider it as the ore of Vanga. Acharya Yadavji Trikamji consider it as rhubarb or plant Revandachini. Vaidya Pandit Saligram Shastri consider it as Mridara Shrunga. D.A. Kulkarni takes it as exudate of Gambu's tree. So, when we consider the different possible sources on the identity of Kankustha, around 37% consider it as source of plant, 25% as animal source, 25% as mineral source, and 12.5 as resin sources. These are the different article and other references from where the information regarding controversial drugs is sourced from.
For any queries, doubts, suggestions, please comment below. Do like and subscribe our channel for more such videos.